Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another Chubbs Reviews where I bring you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And today, I will be reviewing Logan, probably the last rated R superhero movie I can find out there. We've watched Blade, we've watched both the Deadpools, and now we've watched Logan, or I've watched Logan. And Logan is about Wolverine at the very end of his pretty much life. He's a very old man. His healing isn't quite as good. I think I'm gonna spoil most of this movie, so spoilers for Logan. Spoilers. Like I said, he's an old man at the end of his lifespan, pretty much. His healing is not coming back as fast. His blades don't come out all the way. Sometimes he has to wear glasses to read. He's just old, and he looks old, and he's deteriorating. And very early on, he even has a antimantium bullet, and he's contemplating suicide because he just has been alive for so long. And in this world, you can tell that mutants aren't alive really anymore. There's very little amounts of mutants. The government or some agencies are just capturing them and killing them and using them, and just basically mutants have no rights anymore. Um, but yeah, this movie is really solely focused on Wolverine or Logan, and right out the gate, you can tell it's a rated R movie. He's cutting off hands. You see blood, gore everywhere. His claws are going through people's chins and shit. And like, this is how Wolverine is supposed to be. This is how it's always supposed to been. I mean, there was some good action scenes in the Wolverine that they tried to make look a little bit more gruesome, and he would cut off like robots' hands. But to really see blood flying everywhere and to see his sharp objects to go through people's skulls just over and over again, it's just how it's supposed to be. And same with just cutting up body parts. It's I don't know. And then very early on in this movie, or kind of midway through, you get this little girl character introduced to Wolverine, and she's like, and also Professor X is in the movie. Charles Xavier, played by Patrick Stewart, and he's extremely old as well. So old that like, we all know about Professor X, right? He's got the most brilliant mind, most powerful mind in the world, can control everyone's mind, and all that. But at the same time, when that man gets super old and gets some type of brain degenerative disease that makes him have seizures and basically cause everyone in a vicinity around him to seize up and to not move anymore, and basically there are allusions to, not allusions, but it's alluding to he caused a lot of the possibly X-Men's death back in the past, and Professor X did. He just doesn't remember, and he's just basically losing his mind. And Wolverine takes care of him, and that's Wolverine's purpose for the beginning of the movie, pretty much. And then he also meets this little girl character that kind of gets forced upon him, and she gets really close with Professor X. Professor X is like, "You need to take care of her, Logan. She's a mutant," and blah blah blah. And Logan's just not having it, and cat's being annoying. And then uh, then he basically Logan ends up finding out that this little girl is X-23 is a cloned daughter of his, in which that he didn't have sex with the mother, but they took his DNA and put it in the Mexican mother and made this X-23 child, which is a mutant that has the exact same powers as Wolverine, pretty much. She has the claws, the regenerative abilities, and she's extremely young, and she's just as brutal as Wolverine in this. I've never liked a kid character more in a movie because she really doesn't talk at all until towards the end of the movie. And when she does talk, it's kind of whatever, but she doesn't talk a lot. And also, she's just as violent, as bloody, as brutal as Wolverine, and it's very believable. It's very grounded. This movie is such a human story for a superhero, or just a mutant in general. It's a very grounded human story. And with that being said, that's why things at the end. The only way this movie was disappointing in some ways is that it wasn't such an escalating high battle. Even towards the end, it wasn't like Wolverine was out here, or like the original Logan was out here doing some shit. Towards the end of the movie, they're trying to help. Logan's trying to help X-23 and a bunch of her mutant friends that they finally come across escape to the border of Canada, and basically the people who are tracking them down have a cloned version of Wolverine that named X-24 that is pretty much Wolverine in his youngest prime days, and basically Wolverine has to fight himself. And I'm also skipping a big part of that movie where Professor X, Wolverine, and the little girl X-23 all go to this family's home, and they have like, I thought this scene was gonna be so short where they go to this family's home and like, the family probably is gonna end up dying because they brought, whenever superheroes try to take anyone's help, the loved ones or people that they care about die. It's just how it goes. But the scene was really well done. It kept a lot of tension. My eyes would just on the screen the whole time. Put it that way. This movie is great. I 100% recommend it. Uh, like I said, it could have been a little bit more epic. It was really grounded, especially in that family scene. That family scene was for a long time. Gave a lot of time for Professor X to really kind of grow. He was talking to Wolverine about how he needs to find a purpose in a family, and this is what it's all about, is having this family dinner, just to later die to the Wolverine clone in that same farmhouse scene. And then skip to the end, like I said, they're all escaping, or trying to, and Wolverine is dying, but he takes like the shot of this stamina up shit, and he runs and takes out all the ground troops, and then fights the like clone Wolverine, and the clone Wolverine kills him pretty much and throws him on a thing, and then the antimantium bullet comes back because the little girl X-23 has it, and she shoots the clone Wolverine, and that's how he dies. Which I don't know how that makes any sense. Really, his brain would just his head would just regenerate. He shoots him in the head. It's not like the bullet is stuck in there. You could tell it clearly blew his head off, and like the bullet went out. So realistically, that Wolverine would come back alive, the X-24 or whatever. But our Wolverine, Logan himself, is degenerating, and he's on a log, and it's just not like an epic death. Same with Charles Xavier, Professor X's death. Neither of them are epic, but they're worthy send-offs. I would say they're done good enough. It made me feel the emotion, especially with X-23. This little girl's acting is pretty good, and just knowing that she could potentially be the next, she's the next passing of the torch. Of course, we could have maybe wanted Logan alive, and he could have went and taught these kids how to handle life just like Professor X did, and be the new teacher, be the new professor in Canada. But no, Wolverine sends off here and is a tragic death. But I really think this is a must-see. This is a movie I could watch infinite amount of times. It has its little flaws, like just little flaws. Like I said, it's not epic at times. Some of the deaths could have been a little bit better, but they do the best they can. They take some chances, and I actually enjoy that about this movie. It's a really grounded movie, really humanizing, really human feeling. And just a depressing movie too. It's a tragedy. This whole movie's a tragedy. I was just sad, but it's also very entertaining. And I don't know, probably one of my favorite superhero movies of all time now at this point. I know I say that probably a lot. I think I said that about Deadpool 2. I'll say that about the first, 2002 Spider-Man movie. I'll say that about Avengers Infinity War. But it's just, this movie's up there with those to me. Even though it's a standalone ending of a story, we just don't get that anymore. We don't get satisfying conclusions by themselves. I mean, we got conclusions to Captain America and Iron Man, blah, blah, blah. And we get conclusions to things, but just one satisfying rated R kind of passing of the torch almost to his daughter, and also just his send-off. And he lived his life, and that's how it goes. So my final verdict for this movie will be a 10 out of 10. I know I've been giving out high scores lately, but I'm sure you guys don't care. This movie definitely deserves it. Watch it if you haven't, but I'm sure you have. Thank you guys so much for watching, and like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.